Yo, today, so I'm done with that C10. I got something back to work on, but we'll get into that later. Today, I'm gonna clean up the wiring in this, if you remember it from the last video of the C10. Let me show you again kind of what I'm dealing with. Everybody on the internet is a wiring guru that wiring has to be perfect and it has to be done this way, that way, blah blah blah. I'm not that guy. I just put stuff together, clean it up a little bit. If it works, it works. And that's basically what I'm going to do with this. This isn't a show car. This isn't a $100,000 build. It's just a cheaply swapped OBS. And anything, honestly, is better than what we're looking at here. Thankfully, most of these wires, all of them are labeled. But yeah, all I'm doing on this one is just cleaning all this up, cleaning up all this, everything that's going on over here, etc. Just gonna look a little better and not be such a rat's nest, but by no means is it gonna be what you would get from a custom restoration shop that you spend way too much money on. So obviously video is going to end here, and then it'll come back whenever I got this done much better than what it is. So see y'all later. All right, we're back to this. It's actually the next day. I spent like 3-4 hours on this yesterday, maybe not that much. Right now I've been working on this, but I'm gonna do a video from this to go into that. It's not perfect, but I cleaned it up a decent amount. It still looks like a rat's nest, but a cleaner rat's nest. I got everything hooked up the way it's supposed to be. All these labels really make it look a lot worse than it actually is. And then I got what's not being used out of the way. I added fuses to these main power wires. So these main power wires, he just had them all, he had all these red wires just bunched up together and taped, which is obviously not the best solution. But I guess you say I fixed all that. I really just made it better. And then I got this just zip tied up to here. However they reworked this harness, it's nowhere near long enough for these to mount anywhere. Even bring them all the way over here, they're just not long. That's the extent of how far this way they'll come. So just to keep them from falling into the abyss, I just zip tied it up to here. I helped them out some. All this wiring was just hanging down there by the header, so I just brought it up here and zip tied it up here. These hoses right here, he's using like this stock Y fitting for the heater hose ports. That's the stock setup for your 99 to 06 Suburban, Silverados and whatnot, because he's using a stock radiator reservoir with the same stock style radiator that comes in those vehicles along with the electric fans. And he just had these just not connected, just laying out, and there was no coolant in here, so I connected these and added coolant. It runs okay, but a big no-no is you don't want your exhaust to end like that. You want that O2 sensor. That O2 sensor isn't going to read the air fuel like it needs to when your exhaust pipe stops right there. You need at least 18 inches coming back so that it'll read correctly. So it's never gonna run as good as it can if that's how you're running your exhaust. This is, I mean, I can't complain about how we did this because a cheap swap, I mean, that's how you do it. Just figure out your own block off plate for the EGR rather than buying one. Actually, a freeze plug will fit in that hole right there. And so it will use back in, well, at least back when I first got into LS stuff, a freeze plug would just slide right on into that hole, and then that works. I mean, ain't complaining about that, that's for sure. But this most likely is causing some vacuum leak on the sides. Your mass airflow, you want it at least 6 inches from the throttle body, so this is definitely not enough. You want it at least out here, but given his setup, can't really go much further. He just have to figure out some intake system. So between that and the exhaust, it runs okay enough, but it's not like drive on down the street, drive about 30 minutes away. It's probably just a grocery getter and back. But so I'm technically done with that. Not perfect, better than it was. All the important stuff's hooked up. It's hard to really perfect that when you don't know where you're bolting that or mounting the fuse block and everything. So I just kind of made it a little better, and hooked up what needed to be hooked up. Then he can go in and clean it up the way he wants whenever he mounts the computer wherever he wants. But this, my phone's gonna cut off on me probably. This is the swap this is my very first swap that I did. This is a 84 S10. I did this swap before the C10 I posted videos of. This was a pain. This was just, I mean, just look at this. That's all the room you have for a passenger side header. That's it. You got to go in and beat this corner in, which that still needs to be beat in some, but there's no room to now. You have to notch the frame. It's just, there's no room anywhere. But he brought this back to me because it wasn't getting spark. So obviously you go straight to the crank sensor. Let me show you all kind of a tip. Wrap these headers if you can. This one wasn't wrapped. I didn't wrap it just quite enough because it burnt through this power wire and burnt through the crank sensor wiring. Where is it? It's right here somewhere. I just had it. Oh, there it is. It burnt through the crank sensor wiring, so I had to go through, resplice all those wires. Another tip: these spark plug wire shields, I wrap them. I put the important wires that go to the starter that come up right under the manifold or the header. I put these on them. But this one, I mean, there was no choice but for it to sit just on the header, because it runs, the wires run right here, because there's just no room. These hug the block really tight, so I mean, it just burnt right through with the hole right there, and there's a hole on the other side. So I'm gonna take some wrap, try and wrap that more, and I mean, there's not really much else you can do, because the only way this wiring can come down through here is behind the head right there and around the block and kind of curve in. That's the only option, and these hug up against the block right there, so that's just how they sit. So I put another one on just this horn, just on the crank sensor plug, and I'm gonna try and kind of hide it back in there as much as I can and wrap that a little more and just see how it goes. But yeah, there's no room. The bolt right here for the starter, you can't even get it all the way down because the frame's in the way right there. So you have to loosen it little turn by little turn with a 1/2-inch wrench until you get it low enough, and then you get the other bolt out, and then you can kind of wiggle it out. But that's just how I learned how to do it after the pain of putting this in the truck. That was a debacle, but it ran good. He got the exhaust done coming out of the side right there. He put a Y pipe on it. I mean, that's really it. I'm working on that now. I have a OBS coming tomorrow that I can start a video on that, I guess. If y'all can think of anything, got any questions, if you want to see me post more in these videos, let me know what, and I'll do the best that I can. Like I said, past videos just isn't my thing, but I'm trying to do these to help you guys out. Me go through the pain so y'all don't have to. But anyways, yeah, hope this helps y'all, and that's basically it for these. I lied, I'm back. I forgot to show y'all something. I went in, took a shower, remembered, and so I'm just showing y'all something again real quick. So on the other truck, I was talking about this plug. We were saying you could just throw a freeze plug in it. Well, ICT, and I mean knockoff brands, just sell these plugs that screw right in. And that's how you get rid of those. I wanted to show you what I did down here. So I wrapped it some more, and then I gave the crank sensor wire its own boot. It's not gonna focus on it, but I tucked it back there. Yeah, you can't see it, but I tucked it back there. I mean, you can just tell how close this is. And these are also what I recommend for swaps, like I showed in the C10 videos. These are cheap ones on Amazon, and these fit the best with these shorties. I mean, it's about as good as you're gonna get. You can just put the boots on them. Also, let me show you this real quick. So this is a cheap piece I installed. Just a fuel pressure gauge. It just runs. It's just a barb fitting on each side, and you just connect it to your main fuel source. And good way to just be able to look and check for fuel pressure. If you don't use that and you want to check for fuel pressure on these rails, just press that in right there, and if fuel shoots out, then you're getting fuel pressure. Let me show you the spark plugs or the wires I just put on my CUDA yesterday that you guys might prefer. So this is my LS swapped CUDA. It's just a bone stock 4.8 with a 4L60. It's got an ICT from Brake Assist, but anyways, I can do a video on that if y'all want one. But these porcelain spark plug wires, they're only 75 bucks on Amazon. If you just type in 45-degree porcelain wires on Amazon, these will pop up. I obviously wrapped my headers too. I kind of had the same ordeal with the wires back here. You can barely see it, but I use the spark plug boot also, but I have more room back there in that corner than the truck does. So yeah, trying to see what else simple stuff I can show y'all to make this video worth watching. But yeah, if y'all want a video on the CUDA, let me know. But this truck's done. This runs now. I can kind of show it to y'all. I have to change the water pump next. It's leaking through the weep hole. If if you got one of these and you're losing coolant and you don't know where, there's a weep hole behind the pulley back here, kind of where my finger's pointing, but more behind the pulley. There's a weep hole, and that's typically the only thing that goes out on those water pumps. On this, so for the power steering line, I took the stock line for the truck and I just bent it up and routed it under and connected it. I mean, you could take it right here and then it loops up and then comes back here, but then you'd have this big rubber loop. Obviously it doesn't look the best, and if I'm doing it for somebody else, I'm gonna try to make it look better. So I was able to route it under. That's the stock steering shaft with the steering cover. This is using stock clamshell mounts with those dirty dingo sliders I showed y'all in the C10 video. If you want, you can give it a little Tanya Hardin hit right there, and then kind of right there if you want. Not necessary, but just if you want. But that clears. The aftermarket, so there's a kit you can buy with frame mounts and motor mounts, and it kind of lifts the engine up some to where that stuff's farther away, but obviously I don't see the need for that. And plus, for those frame mounts, you have to take apart the suspension to get the bolts, to get to the nuts on the back side of the bolts that are holding those frame mounts in, and that definitely wasn't going to happen. I mean, I obviously would have had to charge extra, but there's no point since I made those cheap swap mounts or slider mounts work. Trying to think of what else. For now, that's about it. I just wanted to show you guys that those intake pieces, because I showed you what not the best solution is, but works, I guess you could say, to cheap options that for sure work. So, but all right, y'all won't see me just randomly pop up again. See y'all in the next video. Any questions you want me to see, or if you want me to video more certain things, just let me know and I'll do my best to get to it. But next is another OBS swap that I'll be doing myself, so no rat's nest wiring. But I'll see y'all next time.